This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be good. I can already feel it. This is gonna be high quality. Don't worry, guys. I figured it out. Oh, come on. Come on. Where are you people? Department of Justice, we need you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Department of Justice. You're actually exactly who I need, so make sure you stay on the stream. We're gonna force you to live up to that name, actually. I'm gonna explain how this works and what we're doing momentarily once a few people pop in. Alright, so here's what I discovered. I was playing Ace Attorney. And then I went, wow, you know what would be really cool? If you could just auto-generate an Ace Attorney thing. Like, a more realistic and complicated case, but like Ace Attorney. And then I realized that ChatGPT can do it. And so I played through an entire simulated case with ChatGPT. It was actually excellent. It worked super well. You're able to ask questions, ask for evidence. It'll even generate pictures of like the crime scene and layout and stuff if you ask it to. It is really good at this. So I'd like to introduce to you a new series where together, you, chat, and I are going to work together to play as a defense attorney. And it's actually not easy. ChatGPT does not make this easy. It makes it... It's very involved trying to prove it wrong. It makes you work for it. So it's gonna generate a case for us, and then we're going to try our best to prove our client's innocence. And I mean, I did write it in that the client has to be innocent because otherwise it would be impossible for us to win. But without further ado, let's see. I wonder if I put the Powder Boy into the title if we'll get more views. I don't really want to false advertise like that. Maybe I should say like Attorney Spike. I don't know. Not everyone knows my amazing name. Okay, are you guys ready? Is chat ready? Is anyone even here? Hello? 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 Because this is only gonna work if we have chat interacting. We 100% need chat here to solve this case. We need your collective brain power. Alright. We're gonna start. Let's see what the case is. I can also zoom in. Okay, there we go. Alright. Case overview. The people versus Jonathan Mercer for first-degree murder. The victim, Evelyn Carter, a renowned author. The defendant, Jonathan Mercer, a former business partner. Oh god, that's not good. This is not good. We're starting out with possible probable cause because they actually did know each other. So let's go ahead. Poor Evelyn. I can't believe this happened to Evelyn. Let's go ahead and analyze the situation and see what we can do. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we are here to prove that Jonathan Mercer, driven by greed and a long-standing grudge, brutally murdered Evelyn Carter. The evidence will show that on the night of June 12th, Mr. Mercer was seen entering Miss Carter's residence and was found fleeing the scene shortly after. His fingerprints were discovered on the murder weapon. Oh no, that's never good. It's always a kitchen knife, every time. A kitchen knife. And the witness will testify to having heard an argument between the 2 hours just before the crime. We will prove without a reasonable doubt that Jonathan Mercer is guilty of the heinous act. Alright, so we have a witness. So let's get the facts down. Okay, so there was a murder, there was a knife. Mercer was found fleeing the scene. That's never a good look. And somehow his fingerprints are on the murder weapon. All of these facts bode very poorly for us, may I say, if we're trying to prove this guy's innocence. It's going to be a little bit challenging. We are defending the guy who is being accused of murder. The one who was caught fleeing and whose fingerprints are on the knife. I'm not feeling too hot. Not feeling too hot. His name is, the defendant is Jonathan Mercer. It's fine. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna be okay. Alright, so we have a witness here, Sarah Thompson. Oh, wait, is this using... One sec. I'm gonna redo this. This is seeming very similar to the one I did last time. Let me make sure. I think it may have grabbed its old memory. I think it used its old memory, so we're gonna generate a new one because I want it to be original. Make sure this is a new, unique story, not like my past ones. Okay. There we go. Alright. Alright, another murder. That's okay. Alright, so our victim is Isabella King, a wealthy socialite. Damn. The defendant is their personal assistant. Personal assistant. Oh my god, it is at a mansion. It is on July 15th between 8 and 9 p.m. and the motive, according to the prosecution, is envy and financial gain. Alright. Isabella King was found dead in her study at Riverview Manor. The cause of death was a fatal stab wound to the chest. Lucas Reed, her personal assistant, was found near the scene with blood on his clothes and a knife with the... I guess ChatGPT just really likes the whole knife with fingerprints, but that's okay. The prosecution argues that Lucas, motivated by envy and a desire for financial gain, killed Isabella to take advantage of her fortune. But how... I'm already calling this into question. Like, how would killing them get him money? How does Lucas gain from this? Were they entitled to the money? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we're here to bring justice for Isabella King, whose life was tragically cut short. The evidence will show that Lucas Reed, driven by envy and greed, committed this heinous crime. We have witnesses who will testify to the suspicious behavior, and we have physical evidence that directly ties him to the murder. Will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lucas Reed is guilty of this crime. Alright. First witness, Detective Sarah Mills. Detective Mills, can you describe the scene? Isabella was lying on the floor of her study with a fatal stab wound to her chest. There were signs of a struggle, and blood was found on the floor and walls. Ooh. Lucas Reed was in the adjacent room looking shocked and with blood on his clothes. Alright, Good music change there. Alright, well, what do we want to question here? I think that the first thing I'm going to question is, Did the defendant have any real potential financial incentive to commit the crime? Were they in a will of some sort? Because, like, just killing someone doesn't mean you get their money. That's not how that generally works. Upon investigation, we found that Isabella King had recently updated her will. Oh no! He was set to receive a substantial sum of $50,000 in the event of her death. Oh man. I'm not absolutely sure. I'm not absolutely sure how to go with this. The question actually made things look even worse. Alright, chat. Come on. Come on, what do we want to ask? This only works if you guys are a part of it. Do we have any ideas? Does he have past criminal background? That's a good one. Does the defendant have any prior criminal background? The death was... We'll ask for the autopsy report as well. Well, we'll ask for the autopsy. Lucas Reed had no prior criminal record. He had no history of violence or criminal behavior before the incident. His background checks out as clean, which makes the situation more concerning given the evidence against him. Alright, so he has a clear background, which is good for us because it means that people generally don't just decide to kill someone someday, although the money is on the table. So if they can make the case for the financial situation, we could be in trouble. Alright, defense attorney. Alright, what are we going to... What are we gonna say? Oh, the autopsy. We'd like to see the autopsy report. That's important. The autopsy report will be submitted as evidence. Cause of death: stab wound to the chest. Time of death estimated between 8 and 9 p.m. The victim had defensive wounds on her arms, suggesting she tried to fend off the attacker. No signs of sexual assault. No trace of any drugs or alcohol in her system. Okay. Where was the source of the knife? Defense Department carrying right now. The knife was a kitchen knife from the Manor's kitchen. It matched the set of knives found in the kitchen drawer. It had Lucas Reed's fingerprints on it, and we discovered it in a trash bag near the study. The trash bin was located in the hallway leading directly to the study. Okay, I'm gonna call something into question here. As her personal assistant, did Lucas Reed, or was Lucas Reed responsible for cooking? Because if he was cooking for her, then it would make perfect sense why his prints would be on the knife. Detective Mills, was Lucas Reed responsible for cooking or handling kitchen duties? No, Lucas Reed was not primarily responsible for cooking. He did handle some household chores, but cooking was typically done by a hired chef. Did he use the kitchen at all, even for personal meals? Come on, there's got to be some explanation for his hand being on the knife. Yes, he did have access to the kitchen, occasionally used it for personal meals or snacks. However, it was not a frequent occurrence. Do we have any records of food purchases by Lucas Reed? Or was that one of the days he made his lunch? I should probably ask about CCTV. Check the records. There are no specific food purchases made by Lucas Reed. The food inventory for the day of the murder showed that some items were missing, but they appeared to be staples that could have been used by anyone. There's no concrete evidence indicating that Lucas specifically made a meal on that day. Okay, so like, this isn't the jury is hungry. Hung jury? No, more like a hungry jury. So here's the deal. We haven't lost anything here. That's not worse. Okay, first off, were there any CCTV cameras or smart devices which may have captured the attack? All right, that's a good one. Riverview Manor had several security cameras installed around the exterior, but there were no cameras in the study where the murder occurred. Additionally, there were no smart devices or home assistants in the study. Okay, a manor should be staffed by several individuals. Are there any other witnesses? I am reading your things and using them to write these, by the way. I'm not pretending these are mine. I'm grabbing it from you guys. I'm just writing them in my own way. Alright, so there are the several witnesses. Emily Carter, who was the maid in the mansion that evening. James Turner, the chauffeur, who was outside the mansion during the time of the murder. And Sophia Lane, the chef, who was not present at the mansion, but aware of the usual kitchen operations. I'd like to call the maid to the stand, preferably. Alright. Mrs. Carter, please state your full name and occupation for the court. My name is Emily Carter, and I'm a maid at Riverview Manor. Miss Carter, can you tell us where you were and what you were doing on the evening of July 15th? Around the time of Isabella King's murder. I was working in the mansion that evening, cleaning the guest rooms and common areas. I finished my work around 7:30 and was preparing to leave. I was in the laundry room when I heard a commotion coming from the study, but I didn't investigate immediately. Did you notice anything unusual or see anyone in or near the study during the time? I didn't see anyone directly. After I heard the commotion, I went to check the hallway, but didn't see anyone there either. I assumed it may have been a disturbance from something falling. Did you see Lucas Reed at any point in the evening? Yes, I saw him briefly in the hallway around 8 p.m. He looks flustered and was heading towards the kitchen. Okay, now I'm gonna try something. This doesn't always turn out great, but sometimes it does really well. Could we get a floor plan of the study and hallway and rooms around them? It won't do the entire mansion, but we can at least get kind of an idea. Oh god. Oh, I tried to do ASCII art. I wanted it to generate an image. Let me see if I can get it to generate an image. But first, it says, located on the west side of the mansion. It's adjacent. Okay, no, we're gonna try to get an image first. Could you get me an image? Image! Okay. Ah! It's because it's ChatGPT Mini. I don't have my limit resets at 501, guys. I ran out. I ran out of GPT-ness, so we don't have images right now. It's okay though. So let's go back up. The floor plan located. So the study. All right. 1 moment. Let's grab paint. We're gonna grab paint. It's the only way we can do it. All right, so let's go ahead and draw up the situation, okay? So we have, oh man, that really messes with my face. It's okay though, it's okay. So we have on the square. All right, so we have on the west side of the mansion, we have the study. So this is the study. Okay, and then we also have the hallway runs parallel to the study, providing access to various rooms. Okay, so located at the end of the hallway, positioned near. Okay, so the study is here, the hallway is between, and then the kitchen is here, right? And then the laundry room shares a wall but isn't connected to the hallway. I think that's what it's saying. No, it does have a thing into the hallway. Give us details. We need to know how to make this make sense. Alright. Thank you. Alright, draw a rectangle in the center of the page to represent the study. Alright. See, this is good. We're gonna build this together. Alright, so we got the study here. We can follow basic instructions on this channel sometimes. Okay, and then we also have... What else do we have? We have draw a rectangle adjacent to the study on one side, leaving a gap where the door would be. Label it hallway. Draw another rectangle at the end of the hallway. It doesn't say which side, though. Oh, whatever. Whatever. We're just gonna keep asking questions. This probably isn't that important. We'll just keep a mental map of what's going on. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, what other questions do we have? What were the calendars for everyone? Oh yeah, what were the schedules of the individuals who were present? That's a good question. Who was there? I mean, 3 people were there. Okay, so the maid arrived at 2 p.m. and ended shift around 7:30. Heard a commotion around 7:45. Prepared her tasks and was preparing to leave. The chauffeur arrived at 4 and ended shift 8 p.m. Nothing suspicious during his time outside. The chef was not scheduled and was not present, and the defendant was there at 8 a.m. Seen in the hallway at around 8 p.m. looking flustered. Was seen near the flustered too. All right, I need to grab. I'm grabbing seltzer. I will be back in 1 moment. Consider good questions. Alright. Uno momento, por favor. That's actually a good question. How was the defendant acting when the police arrived? I'd assume shaken. Alright. Found in the hallway, visibly shocked and distressed, covered in blood, which he claimed was from trying to help Isabella. Lucas was agitated and repeatedly asked about her condition. He was cooperative, but seemed extremely nervous and upset. We observed that his hands were shaking and he had difficulty maintaining eye contact. I should have asked this. What is the defendant's alibi? I should know this as his defense attorney, but... Working in his office in a different part of the mansion around the time of the murder, he claims he was working on an administrative tasks and preparing documents for an upcoming meeting. According to his account, he went to the kitchen to get a snack shortly before 8 p.m. and that's when he saw Emily Carter in the hallway. He asserts he then returned to his office until the commotion was heard. Additionally, Lucas provided us his work logs, but they do not provide precise timestamps. What was the meeting about? Lucas Reed said the meeting he was preparing for was a financial review. The meeting was supposed to cover her investment portfolio, upcoming charity events, and budget planning for the next quarter. Lucas claimed he was compiling and organizing documents around these topics. However, we found no concrete evidence to support the existence of this meeting beyond Lucas's own account. I need to consult with the defendant. All right, we gotta talk to the defendant because he's got to give us something. We don't have a lot to work with here. All right. If you're innocent, you're going to have to give me something to work with. What can you remember, and how can we claim that you were not capable of the murder? But we need wait. He's got to do some lifting here, okay? All right. He was in his office working on financial documents. He remembers checking the time because of a personal phone call at 7:55. I spoke briefly with my sister about vacation plans. I didn't have a chance to log the call precisely, but I think it lasted a few minutes. Commotion in the study by around 7:45. I heard a loud noise coming from the study. I was startled, but I didn't go immediately because I was focused on finishing my work. I went to the kitchen around 8 p.m. Oh, you know what? No, this is actually something we can work with. Because he spoke with his sister about vacation plans after the time at which the murder occurred. So that the implication that he was super shocked and like shaky and freaked out, how would he have made a phone call to his sister and been normal after the murder happened? If he had done the murder. That's actually something we can work with, the timing of that. So we'll bring that up. Let's see, the blood on my clothes came from an accident earlier that day. I cut myself while handling some paperwork. Okay, we can also ask for a DNA test on the blood on his clothes. The meeting, I was preparing for a financial meeting with Isabella, but I didn't have any proof of it in my office. I was using a shitty computer and didn't save my work, thinking I would finish it later. No evidence in office. I understand the documents are missing. I don't know where they might have gone. I might have misplaced them, but I was definitely working on them. Okay, alright. So here's what we're gonna do. First, can we get a DNA test on the blood on the defendant's clothes? I forget. Alright, so we're gonna get that arranged, and then the second thing is I would like to call into question the timing here. Our reports show that the defendant was shaky and visibly distressed, but he made a phone call after the time of the murder. It would appear if he had performed the murder rather than just witness the results after, he would have not been in the state to make the call. Okay, so I think this logic tracks, unless I'm stupid, because it seems like the murder occurred around 8, right? Between 8 and 9. They may call out the specific timing here, but I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I am on the defendant's time. I'm saying he couldn't have done the murder because he calmly took a phone call after the murder would have taken place, and then he went back to being really stressed out again. That wouldn't make any sense. He got freaked out by seeing the body. If he performed the murder, he would have been already freaked out before the phone call. Right? Does that make sense? I get you can be freaked out from committing a murder too, but if he was freaked out from committing it, not just from witnessing it, then he should have been freaked out before that call. Alright, let's see. Your point is noted. The defense raises an interesting issue regarding the timing of the phone call and the defendant's condition. I'll allow this line of questioning. Detective Mills, can you address the timing of Lucas Reed's phone call and how it aligns with the alleged time of the murder? Yes, I can address that. We have verified the phone call Lucas Reed made at 7:55. With his phone records, it indeed occurred shortly before the estimated time of death. His distressed state and the call could be explained by the shock of discovering the crime. However, the call's timing doesn't directly confirm his innocence or guilt. It only provides context for his behavior. That's a good question. Who called the police? He called his sister, but who called the police? The police were called by Emily Carter, the maid. She reported hearing a commotion coming from the study and went to investigate. Upon discovering the crime scene, she immediately contacted emergency services. Emily Carter's call to 911 was logged at 8:05 p.m., which aligns with her account discovering the scene and reporting it promptly. 8:05. This is all at a very small time period. So he made a call at 7:55, and then she made a call at 8:05. Did we lift any prints from the study door? And if so, do they match anyone? I mean, that's not really useful because they all work there, so they all probably have prints. This isn't super useful, but just in case there's something. The interesting thing would be if there were there are unidentified prints, so that is interesting. Several prints, including those of Isabella King and Lucas Reed, those we both know did enter the room. There are unidentified prints that did not match anyone under investigation. The prints on the door did not provide conclusive evidence. Are there any other entrances into the study? I think that's a good question. The study has two main entrances: door to the hallway, door to the garden. There's two entrances. Why wasn't this mentioned before? Okay, that is a good question. What was the state of the door to the garden? Oh no! The door to the garden was found locked from the inside when police arrived. There were no signs of forced entry or tampering. It appeared to be securely fastened, suggesting the door had not been used for entry or exit. So the only way to get into this room was through the hallway, which is like a super visible route. It's a super visible route, and somehow, oh man. That's a good question, Finger. Are there any windows which could have been used for entry? No, there are no windows that directly access the study. The study only has the two doors mentioned, one to the hallway and one to the garden. All other windows in the mansion are either on higher floors or are secured and inaccessible from the ground. This is not good! This is not looking great. I'd like a list of all objects found in the study. Come on, there's gotta be something of use. Alright, so there was a desk. Items on the desk included a desk lamp, several papers and documents, a computer, and a glass of water. The bookshelves contained several books and decorative items. The armchair was positioned near the desk. No notable items found here. Side table contains a few personal items, including a framed photograph and notepad. Trash bin. No significant items found aside from the knife later. Why would the knife be thrown in the trash bin? That someone was murdered. If you're not hiding the body, why hide the knife? Whoever did this was stupid, okay? They were dumb. Drawer empty, no additional objects. Window to garden locked and undisturbed. Floor, bloodstain, and signs of a struggle, including displaced furniture, bloodstains, traces of blood found in various spots. Okay, guys, we gotta come up with something, but here is part one. I want to know what's on the computer. What was she doing in the study? Was there anything left on the computer in the study? What was the history? Hopefully it knows I mean browser history. Alright, we examined the computer. Financial documents related to Isabella King's investments and charity events, some of which appeared incomplete or in draft form. Personal notes about upcoming meetings and personal reminders. Last activity timestamp. The last file was accessed at 7:30 p.m., which corresponds with Lucas Reed's claimed time working on documents. Okay, that's good. That actually corroborates a little bit. Browser history. Browsing history shows no recent searches related to financial management, charity events, nothing suspicious. Unsaved work. Can we restore the unsaved work from a temporary file? I know that some programs store temporary files. Yes, we can attempt to recover unsaved work. Temporary files. IT team is working on this. He'll check if anything. Blah, blah, blah. We'll provide an update as soon as recovery process is complete and if any additional information is found. Okay. Alright, guys. What else can we work with? Honestly, I think there is some information here that we can use. We don't have a smoking gun or anything yet. One of you asked a while ago, is there anyone else with motive to kill Isabella? Wait, is Isabella the... Wait, do I have the wrong person? Who is the victim? Oh, yeah, it was Isabella. I'll just say the victim. There were not really a lot of people here 38 minutes ago, no. But help us solve this case together. Join the great Attorney Albright, Attorney Spike, whatever. or aside from Lucas Reed, there are a few individuals who might have had a motive. The maid had a personal conflict with Isabella regarding work conditions and recent disputes about work hours. I don't think that's enough to really kill someone over. The chauffeur was known to have financial difficulties and he might have had some resentment, but he's kind of accounted for. The chef, you know, it is a little odd that the chef wasn't there that day. Is anyone else feeling that the person who handles the knives just happened to not be there that day? Does that not ring any suspicion? Unidentified prints. The only thing is that we have unidentified prints too, which wouldn't be her, but I'm still gonna go along this line of questioning. Does the chef have any keys to the mansion? Do they have a reason for being absent that day? The chef, Sophia Lane, does not have a key to the mansion. Her access was limited to scheduled working hours, and she relied on the staff to let her in during those times. Sophia Lane was absent due to a pre-planned personal event. She provided evidence such as a time-stamped ticket for a concert. Oh yeah, it's not her. It's not her. That's too solid. That's way too solid. We need a different line of attack. We already did we question? I believe we questioned the maid already, right? We questioned Lucas. We did we not question the maid? What is the nature of Isabella's business? Where does the money come from? Isabella King's business primarily involved investment management and philanthropic. Oh no, it's Mr. Beast! It's Mr. Beast! Not again. Here's a breakdown of her financial interests and sources of income. Nature of business, portfolio, high net worth individuals and organizations, income source. Her income came from management fees, performance bonuses, blah, blah, blah. Heavily involved with the charitable organizations, key donor. Oh, man. That's a good question. Can we run the the unidentified fingerprints through a criminal database? Alright, they're waiting to be compared. Is there anything else? Did the external CCTV system catch anything out of the ordinary? Alright, so we did just ask to run the fingerprints, but we're gonna have to wait. I don't want to waste too many court sessions, though. Exterior cameras. The cameras captured routine activity. There are no signs of suspicious activity. They do not monitor the immediate vicinity of the study or garden door, which limits their... Yeah. So nothing useful from the cameras. We're gonna have to get more creative, guys. We're gonna have to get more creative. Okay, I got something. What was Isabella working on that day specifically? They could still be in the building. Well, that is true. Investment portfolio review. She was updating investment portfolio, charity event planning, correspondence, meeting preparation. Nothing out of the ordinary. That's a good question, though. Are there any spaces in the manor in which an individual could hide out for an extended period of time? Did any areas have evidence of squatting? Because someone could have... You are correct that someone could have entered and waited. It's a large building. There's several spaces that could potentially be used to hide out, although these are usually well secured. Storage rooms, utility closets that are rarely used. None showed signs of recent occupation or disturbance. Attic and basement saved story. Secret passages. The manor has some historical architectural features, including hidden passages, but they're generally known to the staff and are checked. No evidence of unauthorized occupation was found. That's a good question. Are there any sensors or records of entry into internal rooms? Main entrances, the system records entries into major rooms and areas. Records available. We have records. The study doors access logs show no unauthorized entries. Many internal rooms are not equipped. Specific entry. Okay, we'd like the most recent logs to the attack. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Alright, from entry logs leading up to the attack, 7 to 7:30. Lucas Reed. 7:30 to 8, no access. 8, Lucas Reed was seen near the study door by Emily Carter. Guys, we may have a slight issue here. I'm not seeing many angles to play. I'm not seeing anything. We're gonna have to play hard now. We're just gonna have to bring everyone up onto the stand. I like to question. Any ash in the study? I like to question the maid. Alright, well, what do we like to ask Emily? We only got one shot at this, so we've got to come up with some good questions. I don't think we have really any good information to get this guy off of the charges right now, so we really do need to come up with something. Oh, well, we do have one thing. I got a question. Okay, I got a question. Emily, are you aware of any unusual guests that may explain the unidentified fingerprints found in the study? We need to figure out who the unidentified prints came from, because that's gotta be the important part. Isabella, Lucas, and other staff. I haven't seen anyone else. The fingerprints are a mystery. I don't know how they could have ended up there. How often do you dust the doorknobs? She's the maid, so that's her job. I usually do this once a week, but I don't recall when I last cleaned the study door handle. I do my best to keep everything clean. Man, so it was at least anything on that doorknob was at least within a week. How is your relationship with the victim? Guys, I need your help. We're struggling here. My relationship with Isabel was professional. We had some disagreements about work hours and tasks, but I never felt anything more than normal workplace tension. Did you notice any changes in Isabella before the attack? Any additional stress? Yes, I did notice that Isabella seemed a bit more stressed in the days leading up to the attack. She was busy with work and seemed preoccupied, particularly with the charity event and other financial matters. She was also receiving a lot of phone calls and seemed a bit on edge, but nothing specific. Alright. I'd like to request the call logs for Isabella's personal and work phones. July 15th, incoming call. Several calls from known contacts, including family members and business associates. Outgoing calls, numerous calls related to blah, blah. One call to Lucas Reed at 3 p.m. Is there a possibility it was self-inflicted? I mean, stabbing yourself in the chest is not... It's not the most efficient... the efficient way... And the knife was in the trash. Yeah, no. Notable calls. Call to Lucas. Does Lucas recall the 3 p.m. call? Discussing the upcoming meeting and the documents that are being prepared. I talked about the charity event and some adjustments she wanted to make to financial plans. I'm gonna ask the elephant in the room. Isn't it a little odd the knife was thrown away in a trash can inside the manor? Wouldn't Lucas Reed have taken the knife outside of the manor to hide his involvement? I'll say the line. Hold on. It's true Ace Attorney fashion. I mean, this is literally a hypothetical. It's not really, it doesn't prove anything. However, we just need to drag this on long enough that we can get some sort of conflicting evidence, right? Like, that is a valid point. Good. Alright, that is a valid point. The fact that the knife was discarded in the trash can inside the manor does raise some questions. Here are a few considerations. Immediate access. The trash can was located in the study, making it relatively easy to discard the knife there if the attack had happened within or near that room. Panic response. Implications. It could be shown as a sign of guilt or indication that panic reaction. It does suggest a lack of forethought in covering up the crime. All right, I'm gonna just play the jury a little bit here because we don't have anything real. As an assistant, Lucas Reed's entire job centered around planning and ensuring. Oh, I was just gonna say planning. It seems uncharacteristic of him to not plan something as critical as disposing a weapon. Almost as uncharacteristic as the murder would have been itself. Woo! We're fighting here. You raise an interesting point about Lucas Reed's role and character. His position as an assistant would indeed involve a high level of planning and organization. The seemingly unplanned disposal of the knife could be inconsistent. It's worth noting that while Lucas is known for his meticulous planning, emotional states and extreme stress can sometimes lead individuals to act out of character. Yeah, okay, but you know what I'm doing? I'm trying to play up the jury to give them a little bit of doubt. Remember, you only need one person to not agree to win the case. Now, granted, we want to answer the entire case. We want to figure out what happened. But I am completely happy with this. We're gonna end this session here, and we're gonna go to the next court session because I want the results back from everything we've asked. I like to request that the court be adjourned until the previously requested tests are run and we have information to use, such as the DNA test. All right, let's see. The defense has requested adjournment of court proceedings until the pending tests, including the DNA test and any additional information, are complete. The request is noted. The prosecution agrees that the pending results are crucial to the case. The court will be adjourned. Will reconvene once the requested tests and information are ready. Please ensure that all parties are notified. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's. I'd like to investigate the kitchen where the knife was sourced. Now that we're not in court anymore, we can do some investigative work. The kitchen is available for inspection. Detective Mills can assist. Alright, so there's a knife rack, and the missing knife slot is noticeably empty. The remaining knives are in place and accounted for. Cleaning supplies, it's well maintained. Disinfected, countertops are clean. Nothing unusual found in the drawers and cabinets. Staff have regular access. There are no security logs. Trash bins have nothing. Okay. I'd like to also thoroughly investigate the study. Alright, so there's the blood stains. Analysis of the patterns could help determine the victim's position and nature of the struggle. That's something we should definitely do. No signs of tampering with the furniture. The desk. Trash can. Floors and carpets. Hidden compartments. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to go with the bloodstain analysis. Could we analyze the bloodstains to try and determine how the attack occurred, especially which side of the room the attacker approached from? Because it would be incredibly important. You know what I didn't consider? You know what I haven't considered? We are assuming that someone opened the door and attacked her. Have we considered that someone could have already been in the room with her and attacked her and then left? Like, the whole entry thing didn't have to happen. Maybe if he approached from like the back of the room, we can try to build a case around this. Wait for the findings. Alright, so the court is now reconvening with additional information. Alright, so bloodstain analysis findings. The analysis shows that the blood splatter patterns indicate the victim was attacked from the direction of the desk. They were facing the desk during the attack. The impact points, the concentration, position close to or at the desk. High velocity impact using a knife, defensive wounds. No significant evidence of defensive wounds was found. Positioning, the forensic report suggests the attacker approached from the front of the desk. Could you clarify if that would make the attacker move in from the door side of the room or the opposite side of the room? The side of the desk, not from behind or directly across the room. Door side, approaching from... Ah! Yes! Thank you! Finally something to work with. Opposite side of the desk. Okay, so this actually brings up a fantastic argument for us. Because let me explain. Let me explain why this is huge. This is huge. Huge. Okay, so the reason why this is a big deal is because if we have the room, right, and then we have the desk, and then we've got the person, and then let's say this is the door right here. If our suspect came in from this direction to attack and not from the door, that would imply that they're already in the room, right? Because you're not gonna have an attacker go in, pass by the line of sight of the victim, and then turn around and attack from the other side. That does not make any sense. The implication would be that they were already in the room and that she was aware they were in the room. Maybe not that they had a knife, but that's very useful. What about the DNA results? Alright, the DNA from the blood on Lucas Reed's clothes does not match Isabella King's DNA, so that's probably his DNA. That's good, good more information for us. The knife out of the trash can showed DNA traces that partially matched Isabella King. There were no other identifiable DNA profiles from the knife. Unidentified DNA. The unidentified DNA was cross-referenced and didn't match anything. The forensic analysis confirms that the blood found on the defendant's clothes is not from the victim, which raises bigger questions. Could the blood have been from the defendant? It would be even more weird if he had blood that wasn't his. This is very weird. He's got blood that isn't hers and isn't his. That's confusing. Okay, let's bring up the elephant in the room. Well, we're gonna... What's that? I need to find the correct song for this. Nope, not that one. Here we go. Alright. Here we go. Jury and Your Honor, I would like to present evidence which calls into question the prevailing theory of this case. That is the direction of the attack. Blood splatter analysis shows that the attacker approached from the side of the room opposite the door. This implies they were already in the room and had likely already been seen by the victim before the attack. Take that! Hey, who had? So it also means that they would have, yeah, yep. Thank you for summarizing what I said, GPT. Very good. I'd like to question the maid as to who would have been in the room with Isabella during her work. Because someone was there while she was working. Lucas wasn't in the room. He went down the hall and entered. During her work hours, Isabella would usually be alone in the study, especially when she was working on sensitive documents or making important calls. However, there are times when her personal assistant would come in to discuss. Usually other staff members or guests would enter the study if they had scheduled appointments or specific business. Vooperia typically came in during discuss meetings or to drop off documents. His visits were usually pre-arranged and part of his duties. We know if anyone had unscheduled access to the study. Actually, I have a question. I have a question for the forensics team. As you're aware, actually we can also switch this back to normal boy. As you're aware, there was a large amount of blood at the scene of the crime. Were any footprints left in the carpet or on the floor? There were indeed several footprints found in the blood, both on the carpet and the floor. The footprints were analyzed. Footprints varied, with some belonging to the victim and others likely to be the attacker. The victim's footprints were consistent with someone struggling and moving away from the point of attack. There are larger footprints consistent with an adult male moving towards and around the victim. The prints were found leading away from the area of the desk towards the hallway door. So they fled through the hallway. Unidentified prints. There were some partial prints that did not match the victim or the defendant. These prints were not complete enough to suggest the presence of another individual. Good. So there's definitely a third party. Like we've got this. Considering the angle of attack and this forensic analysis of the footprints, there must have been a third party in the room who is almost surely the true culprit. We just have to figure out how to figure out who it is. We're so close. The judge will, or the court will consider this new evidence and implications for prevents. The jury is advised to weigh this information carefully in their deliberations if the prosecution have any rebuttal. We acknowledge the defense's argument and the new forensic evidence. The prosecution will review this information and may call for further investigation. Do we have any records for vehicles on or near the property at the time? Is the area easily walkable? We're getting somewhere. No unusual or unidentified vehicles arriving or leaving the property. There are public roads near Riverview Manor, but no suspicious walkability, semi-rural, extensive grounds, not easily walkable. Yeah, so okay, so here's what I'm hearing. Considering the footprint, the third party footprint, what is a list of all of the adult males present at the time of the murder? Interesting. So there's only 2 people. So there's no cars or anything. So like it's got to be one of the normal people. And there's only 2 individuals. There's only 2 individuals who could have been the footprint. Does the footprint match the shoes of James Turner? No match! No! No! I'd like to consult with my client. Okay, we might be in trouble here. I mean, technically, we don't need to identify who done it. We only need to identify that they didn't do it. But, like, I want to figure this out. Wait! We have additional stuff! There's something that seemed odd. A few days before the murder, I saw an unfamiliar man near the estate. He was hanging around the garden area, but I didn't think much of it at the time since we often had visitors. On the day after the murder, I overheard Isabella having a heated phone conversation with someone. I didn't catch many details, but she seemed very upset and mentioned something about a deal and not backing down. Do you remember the approximate time when that phone call was overheard? Early afternoon around 2 p.m. We would like to request the phone logs for anything around 2 p.m. on that day and the identities of those who were contacted. Wait, we may have something. At long last. We're on to it. Incoming call from an unknown number. The call lasted approximately 15 minutes. This is likely a heated conversation. Outgoing call to business associate, 10 minutes. Incoming call from an unknown charity vendor. Number traced. The unknown number has been traced to a burner phone! Oh, no! Oh, man. There's gotta be... I'd like to have Isabella's business associates probed for information concerning who the 2 p.m. call could have been related to. Someone's gotta know. We will start by questioning Richard Lawson, the business associate who had a call with Isabella King shortly after 2 p.m. My name is Richard Lawson, and I am financial advisor and business associate of Isabella King. Mr. Lawson, can you provide any information on your professional relationship with Isabella King and the nature of your call with her around 2:15 on the day of her murder? Isabella and I worked closely on several investment projects and charitable events. One day she called me to discuss some last-minute details for an upcoming charity gala. She seemed a bit stressed. What was the most recent charity gala related to? we're so close. We're so close to figuring out the truth of this. The most recent charity gala we were working on was focused on raising funds for underprivileged children's education programs. Isabella was very passionate about the cause, and she had secured several high-profile donors and sponsors. Primary donors, philanthropists, corporate sponsors, event planning team. Isabella did mention that she was having some issues with one of the potential donors. She didn't go into detail, but she seemed worried about securing their commitment. She was under a lot of stress. Can you please name the donor? Thomas Greer, he's a wealthy entrepreneur who has supported Isabella's charity events in the past. However, she mentioned she was hesitant at this time. He was hesitant at this time and seemed to be causing her a lot of stress. I'd like to call Thomas Greer to the stand. He's an entrepreneur and a philanthropist. Mr. Greer, can you explain your relationship with Isabella King and your involvement? I have known Isabella for several years and supported many of her charitable events. As one of the major donors in an upcoming charity gala she was organizing. While there were some disagreements about direction of the event and the use of funds, Isabella was very determined to allocate the funds in a specific way, and I had some different ideas. Were you in contact with Isabella on the day of the murder? Yes, I spoke with her briefly in the afternoon. We were trying to resolve our differences and finalize my donation. It was a tense conversation, but nothing out of the ordinary for us. Can we request banking? Mr. Greer, why would you purchase a burner? I'm just going to accuse him of it. I'm not going to ask him. I'm accusing him. He's going to get real defensive. If I ask him, he'll just say no. But if I say it as a fact, if I state it as a fact, he'll get defensive because this is how people work. Okay. He's gonna stumble. You gotta hit him hard because it's gotta be him. I'm willing to bet it on it. All right, Mr. Greer, why would you purchase a burner phone to make a routine phone call? A burner phone? I don't know what you're talking about. I made my call to Isabella from my regular phone. I had no reason to use a burner phone for a conversation. Mr. Greer, are you saying you didn't use a burner phone? Correct, I used my regular cell phone. If there's a call from a burner phone, it wasn't me. I only used my personal phone to communicate. He said at 1:58. It's at the same time. I'd like to request the phone logs from Mr. Greer. Business associate. It never happened. There's no call at 1:58. Wait, what? Well, I thought he called. I thought he said he called her at 1:58. Oh, he's saying he didn't do it at 1:58. When did he call? When did he call her? So it was after, so it wasn't him. Damn it. Do you know of anyone who could have benefited financially from potentially misusing charity funds or by the change allocation location Isabella requested? Did she seem pressured to change her charity's payment structure? I don't know. Maybe someone was pressuring her to do something. Isabella was very principled about her charity work. She wanted to ensure the funds went directly to the program of people in need. However, there were some individuals and organizations that may have preferred a different allocation. One organization comes to mind. There was a firm called Elite Events, which handled the logistics for some of Isabella's charity galas. They often pushed for higher budgets for the services, which were resisted. The head of Elite Events, Mark Sullivan, had several arguments with Isabella about these issues. She seemed increasingly stressed about their demands. Sus. What is the financial state of Elite Events? Are they struggling? Sus! 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 Elite Events has seen a significant drop in revenue over the past year. Several large contracts were lost, and the recent events have not been as profitable. Expenses remained high. Loans and credit to cover operating costs, substantial debt, liabilities, no sustainability. The company, particularly its head Mark Sullivan, would have strong financial incentive. I'd like to question Mark Sullivan. There were discussions about the budget, as there always are. Isabella was very particular about how the funds should be allocated, ensuring the majority went directly to charitable causes. Is your company Elite Events facing any financial difficulties? We had some challenges, like many businesses in the industry. Did anyone from your company use a burner phone to contact Isabella on the day of the murder? No, I don't have any knowledge. Regular channels. Are you aware of any unusual pressure or threats? Isabella never mentioned specific threats or unusual pressure. I'd like to request the financial records for Mark Sullivan, specifically looking for the purchase of a burner phone. Come on. Give me the burner phone. Suspicious purchase! A purchase was made at a local electronics store 2 days before the murder. The item description matches a prepaid burner phone. The transaction was completed using a credit card linked to Mark Sullivan's account. There's surveillance footage showing Mark Sullivan making the purchase. Objection! Mr. Sullivan, our records clearly indicate that you were seen purchasing a burner phone. We got him. We got him. This is gotta be it. Burner phone prior to the murder. Oh, why would you lie to the jury? I know why. I know why he would lie to the jury. Do you guys know why he would lie to the jury? I have a feeling I know why he would lie to the jury. What? That's not true. I mean, yes, I bought a phone, but it wasn't for anything nefarious. I use burner phones for work sometimes to keep business deals discreet. It has nothing to do with Isabella's murder. The defense has presented evidence indicating that Mr. Sullivan purchased a burner phone shortly before the murder. Mr. Sullivan, you are under oath and lying to court is a serious offense. Mr. Sullivan, can you explain why you felt the need to use a burner phone in your dealings with Isabella King? I swear it was just for a side business deal I was working on. It had nothing to do with Isabella. I didn't mean to lie. I was just scared this would make me look guilty, but I didn't kill her, I promise. The court will take this into consideration. Okay, we're gonna crush this fool now. Mr. Sullivan, if you are innocent, will you agree to a DNA test? Whoa! Yes, of course I'll agree to a DNA test. I have nothing to hide. Court orders the DNA test to be... Oh, man! Yes! Yes! The blood is a match! Oh, and the unidentified fingerprints also match his fingerprints. It is clear, without a doubt, that the true culprit is Mr. Sullivan. There is ample cause for him, or ample motive for the crime. His DNA and fingerprints are present at the crime scene, and he was caught in a lie about the burner phone. As you can see, my client is clearly innocent. We already got him. He's already linked. We've done it. After a brief deliberation, the jury returns with the verdict. Your Honor, the jury finds the defendant, Lucas Reed, not guilty. We did it! We did it! Best attorney of all time right here. We did it. Good work. Good work, everyone. I'm proud of us. If you enjoyed this, consider leaving a comment or saying on Valor, hey, I'd like to do that thing again. That was fun. But yeah, that was fun. I'll see all of you next time. Peace out.